Hello lovelies, welcome back. So in today's video I've gone ahead to cut out all my pieces for this style, and I have my waistband. Then the two pieces I'll be using, one is longer than 1 by 4 inches, so I'm going to show you guys the measurements I have in each of them. For the shorter one I have 10 inches for the length, and then for the longer one I have the 14 inches for the length. And then the width of both of them are the same, because I have the same width for both of them. And for the width I am going to measure it as well. For the width I have about 60 inches there, and this width, remember we are making use of 1 yard, so it might not be up to the length of yours. All you have to do is to cut it and then join it to achieve your length, your width wise. So the first thing I'm doing is to hem this. I like hemming my fabric before gathering it. It's a lot easier for me. And for the band that will serve as the width, for the length of it I have 4 inches, and then for the width I have 30 inches. So we are working with the hip of our skirt, or for our client we are not working with the length, with the waist, sorry. So the hip is 13 inches. Now so this next thing I did is to run a stitch for gathering it, and this is it. I've gone ahead to run the stitches for the gather. I am going to go ahead and separate the two threads, and then I'll hold on to one and I'll start pulling my fabric on it. I hope you understand this, for the purpose of those that don't know how to gather their fabric. So I'll keep pulling it and then I will keep gathering. After some time I'm going to do the same thing for the other side, because I don't like gathering from just one side. I will do the same thing for the other side. Hold on to one of my threads and then I'll start pulling it. Once I will continue it. At a time I'm going to go ahead and measure the waist, or where I am doing this, to know if it's up to the measurement I have for my waist. Remember we are working with 30 inches, and as you can see it's up to that. So I'm going to go ahead and make a knot there. But if you measure it and it's not up to 30 inches, that is more than 30 inches, you gather it more. But if it's less than 30 inches, you have to loosen up the gathers to get your measurements. And you can see my gather is not so full. That's because I don't want it to be full, and we are also working with 1 yard. So once you are done, you're going to go ahead and use your hand to arrange the gathers to have a uniform gather on your pieces. So this is it. I've gone ahead to do the same thing for the other piece of the fabric, and I'm going to go ahead and place this. You can see I am placing the back of the shorter one in front of the longer one, and I'll go ahead and stitch it together. So this is it. After I was done stitching it to hold it in place, you can see we are going to bring in our band, and this band you can attach it in 2 methods. I'm going to show you guys the 2 methods. For the first one is going to be an invisible one to close up the rough edges. So you are going to stitch the first one and then turn it over to the right side, fold in by ½ inch, and then stitch it again. By the time you are done with this, you are going to it's going to close the rough edges on the waist side. But for me, I am going to use the second method. Since I'm going to serge it, I would as well serge this as well. So I'm going to close up my band into 2 and then place it on the front of my skirt, and then stitch it all the way from one end to the other. So this is it. After I was done stitching the waist down, we're going to go ahead and attach our band. And for the length of the band, I removed about 2 inches from my waist. Remember my waist is the waist we are working with is 13 inches, so I removed about 2 inches, which I later removed 2 more, so I removed 4 inches. Please work with what works for your client. You don't want the skirt to be too tight. So I'm going to go ahead and pass this into the skirt. Once I exhaust the elastic, I'm going to stitch it at the one side of it and then pull it out from the other side and stitch it down. Once I am done with it, you can see the skirt is almost done. I'm going to go ahead and place it front facing front and then stitch the the remaining seam side of the skirt. And that's basically all for this skirt. If you haven't subscribed up to this moment, take 1 minute to hit on the subscribe button. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up and share my videos to family and friends. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.